Now I'm going to show you how to get all the way from crazy racist nonsense to crazy racist nonsense in a few simple steps. Follow along closely now. I think that this is only barely legal on TV. Okay, first, on Thursday, we told you about New York Republican Jim Russell. Mr. Russell is running against Democratic Congresswoman Nita Lowey in New York's 18th congressional district, just north of New York City. Jim Russell is the Republican running against Nita Lowey, regardless of whether or not the Republican Party likes that fact. Because Mr. Russell has a record of racist ranting that makes Carl Palladino's most racist emails blush. Por ejemplo, quote, parents need to be reminded that they have a natural obligation as essential as providing food and shelter to instill in their children an acceptance of appropriate ethnic boundaries for socialization and for marriage. That's from an essay Jim Russell wrote in 2001 for a white supremacist quarterly. It was dredged up by Politico.com last week. In the essay, Jim Russell argues that language and culture are designed to prevent mixing between the races and mixing between the Finches. You may recall that we made Kent Jones read the Finch part out loud because I found that I couldn't hold it together while trying to read what Mr. Russell had to say about those dastardly songbird race mixers.
It has been demonstrated that finches, raised by foster parents of a different species of finch, will later exhibit a lifelong sexual attraction toward the alien species. One wonders how a child's sexual imprinting mechanism is affected by forcible racial integration and near continual exposure to media stimuli promoting interracial contact.
One wonders. I will tell you what one wonders. How did this guy become a major party nominee for Congress? How did he get him the Republican ticket? The answer is that Republican voters put him there, and now they are stuck with him. The Westchester County Republican Party did announce that they were withdrawing their support for Mr. Russell's candidacy, but Mr. Russell says he is soldiering on.
It's really unfortunate that they're succumbing to a smear tactic by Nita Lowey to try to compensate for her poor performance and her dwindling support in the polls.
Also, she's the wrong color finch. The poor guy, right? Hasn't got a friend in the world. Actually, does have a friend in the world. Jim Russell not only has a friend, he has a defender. And that brings us to the next stop on our journey from crazy racist nonsense to crazy racist nonsense. A couple of days after we ran our segment on Jim Russell, the blog of the same white supremacist quarterly that brought you Jim Russell and the wrong-colored finches, that blog turns its attention to me. Delighted. I found out about that because whenever David Duke or one of these people goes off on me online, my hate mail takes a distinct turn toward lots of all capital letters, misspelled accusations that I'm a secret Jew. L'chaim, illiterate racist guys. One of the places that reprinted the We Love Racist candidate guy Jim Russell, so Maddow must be a secret dirty Jew screed, was the website of a white supremacist radio show. And here's where idle Rachel Maddow show hate mail Googling started to pay off. The white supremacist radio show, the We Love Jim Russell Maddow's a Dirty Jew radio show, has paid sponsors listed on its website. It is proudly sponsored, for example, by American Third Position, a political party for white Americans. Also by the Occidental Quarterly, which published the anti-race mixing Finch thing in the first place. It's also sponsored by this. Check this out. This is called Cast Football. Remember that thing last year where somebody wanted to start an all-white sports league? Got a little attention, then you didn't really hear about it again. That was not this. That was an all-white basketball league. This is a whole nother thing. Cast football, my friends. Cast football is research. Racial analysis of NFL teams in which they count the white people. Look at their website. They go team by team in the NFL counting the white people with pictures of just the white players with their helmets off, if at all possible, so you can see as much of their excellent whiteness as possible. The Patriots, like the Colts and Packers, have a predominantly white starting offense, but few whites on defense. But for the NFL, that still rates as relatively white-friendly. Their take on the team from Washington, which the fellas at Cast Football call the Blackskins, is, yes, along the same lines. They also lament the Jets as, and I quote, heavy on the pepper, light on the salt. if you know what I mean. The Dolphins, according to Cast Football, gone are the great, mostly white Dolphins teams of the 1970s and early 80s, and in their place come near coal-black teams like this year's. They've also got a baseball section where we learn that the Mets suck because all those foreign players are dragging them down. Too bad they can't get someone like, I don't know, Albert Pujols. Oh, wait. The white supremacist sports fans hub on the web does also have a nice hockey section, and there we mostly just hear about hockey, because they seem vaguely more relaxed there. At least, I mean, ice is white, even if it might be distantly Jewish. So in trying to bring to light the totally insane, Finchy, racist rantings of Republican New York congressional candidate Jim Russell, we drew fire from some of the fringiest fringe in American politics. But in the process of us drawing that fire, that allowed us to follow them home online, where we learned about Cast Football, the white supremacists' guide to American professional sports. And honestly, one of the funniest things on the internet that does not involve a hamster or a piano. So thank you, Cast Football, for the aerobic workout the entire staff got today, laughing at you racist freak shows. And thank you, New York Republican congressional candidate and white supremacist Jim Russell, for bringing us all together. If I ever get a Finch, I'm naming him after you and getting him a Finch of a different color to be his boyfriend. That does it for us tonight. We will see you again tomorrow night.